Welcome back to day 2 of Witchtober. So this is my month where I am just talking about random witchy stuff that I've wanted to talk about for a few months. And today I wanted to talk about your morning magical drink. So your morning tea or your coffee. I've picked the 3 kind of like most common-ish. So coffee, green tea, and black tea. So to kickstart with, get it? Caffeine, kickstart. Yeah, it's great. So to start off things, I wanted to talk about the magical properties of these 3 and then go into kind of how to make a magical morning drink. So green tea is, for me, personally, I find this to be much more mild kind of form of caffeine, and just overall, if you want to have a kind of more gentle little nudge to the day, I usually start with a green tea. And so green tea is great for energy work, cleansing, new beginnings, career advancements, creation, and abundance. I've also found that it's great again for like when you need just like a little boost, like kind of a more gentle energy for your caffeine needs. And so with that, I usually will use this as an offering for like land spirits, to certain deities that are a bit more of like the light side of things. And, you know, that would be like Frey, for instance, would be great for green tea. For black tea, it is great to have for focus, visualization, action, change, transformation, and resolution. For myself specifically, if it is an Earl Grey blend, I have found that one in particular works wonderfully for the Morrigan and just really any of like the more darker deities. Like, again, I would do like this for if I wanted to with like Freya, with kind of more associating her with like magic, moon, darkness. Because if you use those 2 together, he kind of represents the sun, the light, she represents the dark, the moon. And then you could also use this as an offering with like the ancestors, but the next one I would use more. And then with hell, and of course, whatever pantheon you choose. I typically work with mostly the Norse. The Morrigan typically is my one exception. I found that black tea is really good if I need to have a high concentration day, but I also need a lot of energy to like power through it. And that also applies with magic as well. All right, and then lastly, we have got coffee. So coffee is great for cleansing, improving vitality, inner healing, energy spells. Give it an energy boost to pretty much anything if you wanted to. Setting work or career related intentions. It's also good to set a productive purpose. You can use it just, again, your normal day-to-day, just give it a boost because that's what coffee is really good for. I've also heard that coffee is really good to like kind of add like a fiery element and like kind of like the fire under your butt kind of energy to get things moving. And it's really good for ancestor work. I've found pretty much 90% of my ancestors, especially my known ancestors, loved coffee. So that's a really easy one to give as an offering. And it's just like I've even found certain deities prefer it. Like if I'm sitting down to do an offering with Odin, I have found that he prefers coffee, but also I'm not really a drinker, so it feels weird to give him something that I personally really wouldn't enjoy. I like coffee. I can handle a black cup of coffee every once in a while. Sitting down, sharing a cup of coffee with him works wonderfully. I mostly use it with either him or with the ancestors. Again, as like my offering drink of sorts. That just tends to be the way I use it. You could also add it into whatever spell stuff. But like really, when I have my morning tea with the deities, like if I'm having a drink with Odin, I'm probably gonna have a black coffee. But I wanted to add with coffee, my version of coffee is not like the traditional like cup of coffee. I like princess coffee, as my high school AP history teacher wife called it. So basically, I like princess coffee, and that is like hot chocolate with caffeine, basically. So Hillsborough cappuccino mix is my jam. It is like my personal favorite. They have like a white chocolate caramel. So good. My husband does a mix of French vanilla and English toffee every morning, like 2 scoops of each for his coffee. We love that. So you could also add any magical properties of those. Like for those drinks, I usually will incorporate like the sugar aspect or the just general sweetness or the chocolate aspect on top of the coffee and the needing of caffeine. So to begin, once you have picked what you are doing for your morning drink, it is time to activate it. And honestly, actually, I should add, you could probably do this for any other magical drink too if you wanted, if you're just making a cup of tea, whatever. You could easily do this too. But you pick what your intention is going to be. So for instance, if I know that I'm already having a fairly anxiety-driven day up ahead of like different things that I know is coming up, I would pick my green tea to just keep me calm, but having the energy to handle things throughout the day. Or if I know it's a Saturday, we're hanging around the house and I'm decorating for Halloween or something, and I've got a lot of fun, fiery energy, or like if I know like it's my last writing day for a book, like I'm finishing the book, I'm going to use my Hillsborough coffee mix, and you don't necessarily need that brand. That's just the kind we like. But to have that where it's like that passion and sweet and those things, I will infuse into my tea or my coffee. Whatever I'm wanting, I'm going to kind of match my energy to whatever my drink would be, and then putting my intention into it. So even for instance, like let's say you need to do a healing kind of a tea, pick like a lavender or like a sleepy time tea that has like lavender and chamomile and whatever, you would figure out what you want from it. So let's say you want to emotionally calm down. You're having a lot of anxiety and you just need to take a breath, and you're going to use some magic to help with that. You would plan that as your intention. Once I pick what I'm going to do with it, I will then raise the energy needed. So typically, I'm gonna be honest, a lot of us witches don't do the full shebang every time we need to. We're not calling in the elements to bless a cup of coffee. So I will raise energy the way that I think I remember learning this from Scott Cunningham eons ago. But you rub your hands together and you can start to feel the tingly in your hands. That's energy that you've created. As I'm doing that, I will visualize the outcome that I'm wanting. So again, we'll say I'm finishing a book. I'm rubbing my hands together and thinking about how I'm, like the energy I'm wanting of like, I'm excited, I'm passionate, I have all of the energy and drive that I need to do the work to finish my book. Because again, I write books, so that's the fun day. I want an energy to match that and just kind of boost it along. And so I'm thinking of that while I'm rubbing my hands together to raise that energy. Once I feel like I've done that enough, so like maybe like 20 to 30 seconds, it really doesn't take long. Once I feel like I've got enough, I'll put my hands around my cup, or if I'm having like a tea bag, this wouldn't go for that example, but like the healing one, I would take the lavender, like tea bag, sleepy time, whatever, and hold it in my hands and infuse that energy that I just raised into it. And the way I do that is I kind of like to visualize like, you know, the ingredients that you're using, they're kind of mostly stagnant energy. Of course, whatever you consume, you get a little bit of an energy from it. But as a witch, I feel like most of it's pretty dormant. And so you use that to, as you're like raising your energy, to activate the properties that you're wanting. So the healing one, obviously, to activate like the calming properties, the like bring it down a notch for that type of spell, or for my other one, like my coffee, when I'm finishing my book, to boost it up even more, to be like, hell yeah, I got all of the energy, I got all the things, it's gonna be great. Whatever energy, I'm putting that tingly feeling into the drink and visualizing that it's being activated. Once I feel like it's pretty infused, I will say this first affirmation or something like it. Sometimes I don't remember the exact words, but earth and air, I welcome you. May intention guide this day through. Then I will take my hot water, because all of mine require hot water. I don't make normal coffee usually, so I'd probably do this before you'd brew the coffee. And then pour the water in or on the drink. And then fire and water awaken this drink for me, harming none, so much to be. And that's it. And then I would enjoy the drink, and as I'm drinking it, focus on those energies mingling into my own to go to whatever my alchemy is that I needed. So like if I made me a cup of Earl Grey, I'm going to focus on starting to feel the aspects of Morrigan, my connection with her, whatever lesson she's got me working on, stuff like that. If I'm working with Odin, you know, I'm going to be focusing on like the inspiration, wisdom, whatever. Like whatever the intention is for that drink, focus on that while you drink it. And yeah, that's how I do my magical drinks. I would love to know if you do this or something similar with your morning drinks. I don't do this every day, but I would say like probably 3 or 5 days a week I tend to do this. It's something really simple and easy that it doesn't feel like it takes a whole lot of your time or energy, but it seems to make a difference. I will also do this sometimes with evening drinks for the same thing of like whatever energy I'm wanting to end the day on. So like I have like a cinnamon apple that's great for like abundance and for also just love. And so sometimes I'll drink that, or I'll do again a sleepy tea to be like, hey, let's sleep tonight. That would be great. Let's not wake up all the time. That'd be cool. You know, whatever the energy is that I'm needing. And so yeah, I would love to know what you do if you do something like this in the comments down below. A huge thank you to my patrons. If you would like to support me and get access to exclusive content, on Tuesdays I post book talk things. I still do that, I still talk about books. And then on Thursdays I do my audiobook, and on Saturday it's what I'm working on. So right now I'm going through STOW, and then I don't know what I'm doing for the new year yet. I'm thinking about it, haven't figured it out yet. So I just, whatever I'm up to in my own craft. So anyways, till next time, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all soon. Blessed be.